I hope everyone is off to a wonderful 2024, and I figured why not start the year off right and talk about the ever so polarizing Hermes journey. I know that is so 2022, 2023, and I'm hearing a lot of talk about 2024 being a low buy or no buy year for a lot of people. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this year plays out for Hermes and for all of the other major fashion houses, considering we are already seeing a slowdown in luxury consumption towards the end of 2023. Now, if you've been around before, you'll know that I'm currently on a hiatus when it comes to my alleged Hermes journey, and I've been on hiatus for a while. So if we're going to stick to this imagery, then I'd say I'm currently comfortably camped out at a really nice rest stop, and I really just don't have the motivation to make it to the final destination. In fact, I've been extremely distracted by other destinations that not only will be easier to get to, but I think will be equally as fun and fulfilling. So there's really two things at play here for why I'm on the fence about completing said journey. One, I've talked about this before, that I just don't know if the journey is worth the energy, hassle, and reward. And I'll link those videos down below if you'd like to learn more about why the Hermes quota bags have just been consistently sinking in priority when it comes to my luxury wish list. Instead, I want to focus on the second point, which I really haven't discussed on this channel before. And that is number two. If you take the quota bags out of the equation, I'm running out of things that I'm genuinely interested in buying from Hermes. So first off, don't get me wrong, I love the brand, I really do, but just because I love the brand doesn't mean I have to buy everything the brand releases. Actually, I take that back. It's more like I don't want to buy everything the brand releases. Hermes is the one that sets these unspoken rules. So you feel like you have to buy something from all of their different métiers or categories. Like if the Hermes journey was a video game, then these are the gears and tokens you have to buy to like unlock the next level. And without them, well, good luck completing the game. Well, unless you have the cheat code, and in this case, that would be successfully scoring a bag via the Paris leather appointment route. So yes, Hermes allegedly makes it so you have to buy from these different categories, allegedly because it's not like an official company policy, but I get it. How else are you to prove you are a good, loyal customer and that you truly like the brand, right? But I honestly just don't want to buy all these things. Like my house is not a museum, it's not a collector's vault, it's definitely not meant to be a reconstruction of an Hermes boutique. Like my house has to remain a livable, usable space that works for me and my family, and the same goes for all of my luxury purchases. So in this video, I want to share with you all the items that were once part of the game plan to unlocking the quota bags, if you will, that I just don't want anymore, that I'm happy to walk away from. So we'll talk about the why, what they hypothetically totaled up to, and where does that leave me in my journey. So spoiler alert, it leaves me stranded, that's where. So if that sounds interesting to you, or if you are like me in terms of where you are in your journey for 2024, I hope you keep watching. So first up, let's talk fashion jewelry. I've said this before, I love my Olympe ear cuff, but all costume jewelry from Hermes or otherwise, henceforth off the table. Now, I once had plans to add 3 fashion jewelry pieces from Hermes. The first was either the O'Kelly or O'Malley pendant. I can't find them listed on the website at the moment, but I think they were priced somewhere between $300 to $400 US. I like them because they were reminiscent of like the actual fine jewelry pieces that they have, like the Kelly lock or the Farandole necklace, but at a fraction of the price. The second was the Rival mini bracelet. I think those currently retail for just shy of $500, and I figured it would be nice to add a leather bracelet from Hermes because it's just such a staple for the house, right? And I thought this design was classy, but it also had a bit of edginess to it with the studs. Now, while I had considered the Kelly bracelet, which is very similar but more popular, I ultimately decided against it because I felt like it would be too on the nose. Like, can you imagine just being decked from head to toe with like a Kelly necklace, a bracelet, a bag, a belt, shoes, etc.? That's just too much lockage, you know? Like you'd be walking around like a bloody locksmith. Or like the human version of the Paris Lover's Bridge or whatever it's called. And 3, the last fashion jewelry piece I wanted was the mini click chandonk bracelet. I think those are about $700-ish. Again, more subtle than the extremely recognizable Click H bracelet. And since I already had the Chandonk ring, I figured it would be a nice matchy-matchy moment, but still a little more subtle than like being fully decked out in Kelly locks. And total up those three pieces, you get about $1,500, give or take. Now, I've talked about why I'm no longer interested in fashion jewelry from Hermes or otherwise in other videos. I'll link those down below if you're interested in. But think about it, that is now $1,500 I can put towards an actual fine jewelry piece. So that really is the number one reason why fashion jewelry is off the table. Now, I'm not exactly sure if SLGs count towards pre-spend. Someone let me know down in the comments below. I've heard it both ways, but at one point I also had 3 SLGs on my list. First was the Ulysses Agenda. I was pretty open to sizes, but just for price reference, the size retails for just shy of $400. And really, this was just me wanting to be bougie and to buy from Hermes's like office category. And if I'm being honest with myself, my regular notebooks, the free notebooks I get from campus, from recruiting companies, etc., there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They work the same, and I have a giant stack of them still waiting to be used. Under no scenario would having a leather agenda cover make a difference to how I use a notebook, period. I also thought it would be fun to have a Bastia, like in a fun pop of color. Social media had at one point convinced me that that's part of the journey. And although they're not terribly expensive, I think they're about $255 at the moment, they can be surprisingly tricky to get your hands on. But to be honest, I have no idea what I would use it for. Now, I thought of using it to carry like cash and coins, but that's what my Louis Vuitton key clay is for. So the Bastia would honestly just be sitting in a box somewhere, waiting until maybe I traveled overseas and possibly wanted a separate pouch to keep some foreign currency in. And that to me, when I really sit down and think about it, is just plain silly. Now, the last SLG was one of those tarmac passport covers. Those retail for $295, and again, I thought it would be fun to get it in a pop of color. Now for this, my husband and I were actually pretty close to pulling the trigger, but when we tried them on in stores, we quickly realized that if you ordered your US passports with extra pages, which we do have, it's not gonna fit, not even close. Plus, they're really quite a hassle to use. Like, I would rather have a traditional passport cover sleeve, so I'm still on the lookout for that. But if we added all of these up, we're talking about just shy of $1,000 on 3 SLG pieces that I'm not going to be using that often, or that I really just don't need. Also, by the way, can we take a moment to appreciate this cardigan that I got from Muji? It's been over a year, and I have this in like 3 different colors, and it is absolutely one of my favorite. It's so soft, fleece line on the inside. It has a really nice like ladylike front design, but if you open it up, it has like a really nice black lining on it. And so I have the sleeves rolled up so you can kind of see what they look like, but how cute is this? Also, if you are new, welcome to A Briefcase of Luxury, a place where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. And while I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, your support really does mean the world to me, and I would love to grow this channel so we can all continue on our journey towards more mindful consumption. So thank you so much to those of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, or shared my videos. I truly do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. In terms of kitchenware, my weaknesses are mugs. Hands down. I love me a good mug, which means I already have a huge collection of mugs. So it's no surprise that I was 100% dead set on adding not 1, not 2, but up to 3 sets of drinkware from Hermes. So first up, we have the mosaic mugs in either the gold or the silver, the Deco H versions as well, same either in the rouge or the black, I love them both, and the Passifolio collection. Like, all of these I think are just so gorgeous. Now, these retail anywhere from $200-ish and up to just shy of $500, depending on the version and size. Like if it's just the mug, or if it's the cup and saucer set, and if it's the breakfast or tea or coffee cup and saucer set. But the goal was to have at least one of each, if not a set of each, okay? Like, That's honestly pretty dumb. And here's why I'm so glad I didn't pick up any of these. First off, the mosaic versions are not microwavable safe because of the gold or silver metal tiling on the design. So yes, these actually have fine metals in them, and they're just not practical for how I use my mugs on a daily basis. Like, I don't mind hand washing these, but I do mind not being able to put them in the microwave. And the same goes for the Passifolia collection because of the gold rims on the top. So here we're talking about spending anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $3,000 on mugs, on little containers you drink out of. Next up, let's talk homeware, because homeware, on the other hand, I'll be honest, I was never and I am still not interested in their homeware, but it is one of those legendary categories you often hear as one that will help speed up your journey. But look, I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. Every inch of my house has been scratched, chewed, thrown up on, and worse, you name it. So why in the world would I buy an Avalon blanket with matching pillows? That is a $4,000 heartbreak waiting to happen right there. Yes, that is the price of one of their basic Avalon throws with 2 matching large pillows. How silly was it for me to think, wouldn't these look cute in the background for my videos? One, no offense to anyone, but I think that look has really been overplayed. Everyone now seems to have the same video backdrop, so that made it easy to say no to. And 2, I guarantee you my fur babies won't discriminate, and they will be equally inclined to use and abuse them like they do our regular throws and pillows. Next, let's talk cosmetics and fragrances. So I'm not a big cosmetics type girl, let alone a designer cosmetics type girl. I do have a lip balm from Hermes, and that's about all I'll ever need. Now, fragrances are a slightly different matter. Now, if Hermes ever came out with a rose scent that I actually liked, then yes, I would consider it. But as of right now, none of their scents that have a rose base to it beat what I currently have. So no, it's not hard to turn down those either. Although you can argue that the prices for their fragrances are pretty decent. Last category is scarves. Yes, they are another staple to the house, and yes, they are gorgeous, but no, they are 100% not my style. So for a long time, I wanted the Chorus Stellarum 70 centimeter scarf, I believe. Those were about $375, and I think they have now been discontinued and replaced with the smaller bandana version, and I'm just not feeling those as much. The other scarf that I really wanted was the Sous le Charme d'Orphée in the double-sided print, which was something ridiculous, like $900-ish. But let's be honest, I would never wear them, and I know that, to the point where I had thought of simultaneously buying the Longchamp fishing net looking bag and using the scarves as a liner for the bag, just so I could justify buying them. Like, I would be spending more money just to make myself use something that I've already spent a buttload of money on. Plus, those scarves together alone would have ran me like $1,200. Now, if we totaled up all of these items, we're talking about a rough spend of somewhere between $9,000 to $11,000, give or take. And that's not taking into consideration how much I previously spent at Hermes. So considering there's almost $11,000 worth of items I'm no longer inclined to purchase, it really doesn't leave me with a whole bunch of options to complete my journey. However, you'll notice that there are a couple of major categories that I did not mention here. For instance, there's still shoes, fine jewelry, and ready to wear. And I know that these can be high ticket categories, but I'm also not someone who aspires to own Orans in like every single color or to own multiple Hermes watches, which means my total dollar amount left for items I would honestly consider purchasing would be less than a 1-to-1 ratio for a quota bag. So where does this leave me on my journey? It leaves me stranded. And so at this point, I see 4 options. 1, I can keep trying my luck at a boutique whenever I can put in the time or energy to go to one. 2, I can try my luck in Paris. 3, I can go the pre-love route and know that if the Birkin 30 or Kelly 28 is the destination, I can arrive there right now if I wanted to, as in I have enough in my earmarked Hermes fun money bucket to get either of those without having to mess around buying anything else. But if it's the Birkin or Kelly 25 that I'm after, and we're talking pre-love prices, then I probably need to beef up that bucket a little bit more. Or finally, number 4, I can simply turn around and walk away. go on another adventure or journey instead. So unless I find myself getting lucky in Paris, it would seem like going pre-loved may be the most feasible route. And I can see how people start to make that justification to pay over retail for the Birkin or Kelly 25 specifically, because at this point, we all know that the bag costs more than just the cost of the bag, right? Especially from the boutique. In fact, the smaller the bag, yes, while its boutique price may be lower, the cost of getting the smaller bag is exponentially higher in the boutique. So we're talking about a higher pre-spend. So regardless, all of these options just sound tedious to me, except for the last option, which is just to walk away. So I can't say for sure I won't ever pick up where I left off, but for right now, for 2024, the hiatus will continue, but that means I get to go on new adventures, and I can't wait to take you along with me. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video, and if you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I can't wait to catch up with you next time.